Good morning, everybody. I'm Karen Keratin, social media trainer, live here for you as ever on my regular Friday 8 o'clock slot. In fact, I've just realised I am slightly early today, so maybe about 30 seconds early, but hey, I'm here. And this morning I will be sharing tips on planning your social media journey. So that's quite a big topic. But before we get started, just want to sort of check in. If you haven't met me before or come across my lives, let me introduce myself a little bit more. I'm originally from the northeast of England, which you probably can pick up, even though I've been away for 20 years. Based in the beautiful, East Midlands, but working across the UK and now internationally with clients in New Zealand and Australia, which is quite exciting too. And I work with businesses and individuals who really want to get to grips with social media and truly understand it, but taking all of the jargon out of it and talking in real language about social media and applying some simple core principles to ensure social media success. Which brings me on to today's topic, which is planning your social media journey. Because what we tend to do as individuals is hang out on the social media that we like the most. So my first tip about planning your journey is, have you got your map to hand? Yeah, remember that? I still keep a map book in my car, actually. Because if you are planning to go somewhere new, you would plug it into your sat nav, wouldn't you? You would pop that in the sat nav to make sure you're heading the right direction. Well, let me share this with you. If you are designing your social media activity for success, you need to be heading in the right direction with the right people. And if you are hanging out, for argument's sake, on Instagram because you love it, you love taking photographs, you love food. I've got a client whose wife and he are phenomenally good cooks, and he posts some great pictures of their meals. That's fantastic. And it really gives me a touch point with him. And I love to see that. But he's not using that to grow his business, because the majority of his perfect clients are actually on LinkedIn. So spending time on LinkedIn is, if you are looking to grow your business and that's where your perfect clients are hanging out, then you need to make sure that you're at the same party, if you like. It's like going to a party with like-minded people. So the first stage of planning your social media journey is about considering where your perfect client hangs out. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can do this. Is not quite stalk them, but do a bit of research on their website, which social media platforms are covered on their website. Understand that. And maybe have a look at your competitors. Do they have the same clients as you? Or one of my personal favorites is to check out synergy businesses. So what's a synergy business? Well, it's somebody who doesn't offer the same products or services, but has the same clients. So for argument's sake, if you were a website designer, you may not offer social media services. Some larger organizations are full service and they might well do that. So they would be a synergy business for me. If you were an accountant, then a perfect synergy business may be a financial advisor or a solicitor, because they will have the same clients, but they don't do what you do. And that's really important to consider that. Excuse me just a second. Always have to have my cup of coffee to hand at 8 o'clock on a Friday morning. I hope everybody's had a good week. It's been a funny week, hasn't it, though? A short week, because we had Monday off and I've been a day out all week. But I do know that today is Friday because I'm here with you. So that's the first stage about planning your social media journey, is making sure you're on the right platform. And the other thing is, don't try and be every man or every woman. Don't try and do too many platforms, because the risk you will have is that you're spreading yourself too thin. You might be diluting your message, or even worse, not being that effective. My clients that work with me I will encourage them to do 1 to 2 social media platforms at most, because we're human. We've still got a job to do. I hang out everywhere because it's my job to hang out everywhere. So I can do that because that's what I'm doing, and I'm teaching people how to do it. But for you, growing your business, you've got your day job to do. So don't try and do too much, too many platforms. I recently worked with a company that were across all the main platforms and they weren't having an impact anywhere. So keep the number of platforms relatively small. And if anybody's got any questions, by the way, on anything that I'm talking about, because I know we've got people watching who maybe haven't joined us before, feel free to ask any questions as we go along. And also, if you found this useful, please share it with your network. So don't try and do too many platforms. Then the next thing I want you to consider is, how are you going to measure your social media success? What benchmarks have you put in place? I mean, have you even got a marketing plan in place or a business plan? What do you want your business to accomplish? And as we start the last quarter of this year, I thought it would be perfect time to talk about these things, is what do you want your business to accomplish this year and next year? What plans have you got by quarter? Have you accomplished that so far this year? What do you still need to accomplish for the remainder of the year? And much as I love it, social media isn't a silver bullet. It is part of your marketing toolkit. Some people find that it works and they don't need to do anything else, and that's great. But I'm a big one not for putting all my eggs in one basket. Which brings me to the other element, which is, what other marketing are you going to do to support your business growth? So that could be, have you got a website? Is it optimized in any way? Excuse me. Having a clear vision of your investment in your marketing. So are you doing direct mail, email marketing, and of course, networking? Now, at the moment, because we are in strange times, there is quite a lot of hybrid networking. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday. In fact, I'm hosting an event this morning, and we initially tried to do it as a live event and there wasn't enough appetite. And now we've taken it just purely online, and I've made the decision that that particular event will stay online for the rest of this year. But you can still network with people online quite effectively. So give some thought to networking, and where do your perfect clients hang out in regard to networking? Or where do people who know your perfect clients hang out? So there's lots of different elements here that we need to start and consider. And if I was working with you one-to-one and we were building your social media plan, this is something that we would do over a 2-hour period. So what I thought we'd do this morning is just cover a couple of the elements. The other thing I want you to think about is, what's your differentiation? Why would I use you rather than somebody else that offers similar or the same? Because much as we love to think it, there is only one of me. But there are other people that offer similar products or services to those that I offer to my valued clients. What's your differentiation? Do you have clarity on your differentiation? Because being able to have that is really important. My strapline is talking fact, not fluff, about social media, because it drives me potty when people go into that sort of jargon mode. And so I tend to train in that same way. So I want you to think about, what is your differentiation? Why would I use you? I'm proud to have won awards and be recognized by my peers for what I offer. So I believe it's another differentiation. A proven track record, a loyal portfolio of regular clients. My business, I've been working full-time in my business now for nearly 10 years. So thinking about all of these things, what's your business pedigree? But ultimately, what is your differentiation? And that is something really important, and it doesn't come overnight. If you're a young business, new to your business, it may be something that takes a little bit of work to get to. Differentiation is key. And that then brings me to your competitors. How well do you know your competitors? What is it they say? Keep your friends closer and your enemies closer still, something like that. And that's really true. Need to have absolute clarity. And competitors are a great thing. I have fellow business owners who offer similar services to me, and we have cross-referred to each other in the past because there's elements of my business that I enjoy doing more. Training, definitely. To some of my competitors in the area who they have elements of their business that they prefer to do. So having a good understanding of your competitors is really important because we can support each other, but also there will be times when you are going up against them and you might be asked to pitch for a piece of work or to write a proposal. So do a bit of research, do a little bit of legwork, have an absolute clear understanding of how different are they to you, what do they offer, and something that's really difficult, pricing. Oh, and today, the event I'm hosting today is actually for trainers, and our topic for today is about pricing your services. And some services, it's really easy to get a price for. You know, lawyers will have a typical hourly rate. I'm sure accountants have a typical hourly rate. But there may be some accountants and lawyers, for example, who are younger businesses that price their services to reflect that, to say, well, we do a special offer for new customers, in which case your first hour is X. But a lot of businesses don't overtly put their prices out there. And that's a really tough one because pricing is difficult. But what I come back to is it's the effort versus the reward. If people can see value in what you offer, my default setting, and I get told off for it, is I always give too much. Somebody books an hour with me, it's never bang on an hour. We often roll over into an hour and 10 minutes or a little bit longer. And strictly speaking, I should be closing it off after an hour. But what do you charge? What is your hourly rate? So think about that hourly rate. And do you know what your hourly rate your competitors charge? Because you need to be clear about that. Because if your differentiation is that you're just pricing yourself as a budget offering, that's absolutely fine. And you're not attempting to differentiate. However, if you've got a long-standing pedigree with a lot of experience in your sector, people aren't going to expect you to be cheap. So give some thought to how that's going to work. And really crystal clear about what your value proposition is, what people get from working with you. I'm working with a couple of people doing some, I have a package called the Nurture Package, and that's £297. Now, what do they get for that? Well, that's an initial hour's training, followed up by 2 follow-up sessions separately of 45 minutes long. So they actually get 2.5 hours in total for £297. So I'm really transparent about that. That's the price point for that. What they get is they get supporting collateral, they get the sessions recorded and sent back to them so they can reuse them, re-watch them at their own leisure. What do people get from working with you? So have some real focus and direction on that. And then the last one, which I'm not going to talk about in detail today, because we're nearly up to 15 minutes and we haven't had any questions so far, so I'm just going to keep going, is your profiles, your business pages. Regardless of platform, the same principle applies. I should be landing on your business page, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and be really clear who you are and what you can offer me. I call it the Chandler Bing test. So I love Friends. I could watch Friends probably every day of the week because I just love it. And there was a very famous early episode in Friends where the girls were competing against the boys. So Monica, Phoebe, and Rachel were competing against Chandler and Joey. And Ross was the quizmaster. and it was a draw, and the tiebreaker was, what is Chandler's job? And none of them knew. And that is a bit like, it's almost like having a family and friends test. People know I run my own business, but do my family, my mum and dad do, my sister does, I would like to hope, but do my in-laws, people I'm not quite as close to, do they know? My best friend does, but do my friends here in our village know really what I do? So does your business pass that Chandler test or the family and friends test? And that's something I'll leave you with, because we have turned into a nation of scrollers. Somebody lands on your profile, sees you tagged in a post, they land on your profile, your LinkedIn page, they go to your Facebook business page. They need to be really clear how you can help them. So hopefully take some comfort in that. Have a really long, hard look at your profiles and look at the startings of your plan. Thank you, Janet. That's really nice. Because ultimately, we need to be really succinct, really easy to understand, straightforward, and make it easy for people to do business with you. So is my Friday Live for today, and we'll probably continue this topic next week. So I will see you this time next week. Have a great Friday and a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.